There we go. Hey, good morning, everybody. Let me just hit record here so we can record the session as well. Give me 1 second here. All right, so happy Friday, everybody. Thanks for joining me here at the London Closed Trading Session. This is the 15th of May, 2020. We are in, God, it seems like year 5 of coronavirus lockdown. So I think it's month 2 for most of us. But we'll cover sentiment. We had a couple trades yesterday, both ended in profit, so it was a nice little move. I did a little bit of an advanced concept that I'll talk to you guys about on one of the trades yesterday. So you know what we'll do is let's cover this the sentiment for today. We'll look for trades. We'll take a trade if there's anything available, and then I'll kind of go back into this bit of an advanced concept here. And show you guys how I was able to get a 2-to-1 reward risk on the USD, or 2-to-1 reward on US Canadian dollar after it went my way. So, so it was fairly quiet overnight until the morning for the US Open. The dollar closed out gains for most of the majors. The Canadian dollar was down despite the rise in crude prices, so that was interesting. The euro steadied after on consensus GDP figures. The pound is definitely weak with Brexit talks in a deadlock. Yen has been gaining with traders kind of turning to safe havens right now. It seems like there might be a second dip in the markets. And the Aussie just dropped on risk-off mood with the U.S.-China trade war. So like I said, oil prices are firming up with futures, but that's not translating into Canadian dollar here. U.S. futures slipped. Also, news from the U.S. Barring Huawei from U.S. hardware and software technology. So that's interesting. Their retail sales for the U.S. this morning were horrible, worse than expected. The Michigan sentiment, though, University of Michigan sentiment data was stronger than expected. So it was kind of a mixed bag here. After the digestion of the data, Dow's down, VIX is up, NASDAQ, S&P down, but not substantial, not crazy. Dow's down 147 points. Oil's up $1.09. Brent, gas, those are all up. So I like to look at commodities to see, what's going on here. Gold is up, which is a safe haven metal, but the platinum, palladium, silver, those are all up too. So that's an interesting point to me. So I think the drop in the markets is not going to be substantial this morning going into the weekend. So that's kind of what we have going on sentiment-wise. You can see right now the euro is bid across the board. The dollar is kind of mixed. They're up except for against the euro and the Swiss franc. But the euro's not up substantially against the U.S. It's up big time against the Aussie, Kiwi, and then the pound. Aussie's down across the board except for pound and Kiwi. Kiwi's going to get sold off for a while with that negative rate introduction. That I don't think that's fully priced in yet. Pound is down across the board, is expected with Brexit, but that could change in a second with a breakthrough. Kiwi is the one that I think long-term is going to be down with that negative rate thing. So unless we see the economy improve rapidly here with coronavirus, I think the market is expecting negative rates out of New Zealand, which it's not good. Swiss franc bid seems like they're kind of in tandem with the euro, but I think the Swiss franc is a little bit stronger than the euro anyway. The S&B is intervening, but all it does is take them not to intervene once, and you're going to see the Swiss franc So be wary of that. Keep your stops tight, guys. Keep your stops tight. Yen up, except for against the franc and the euro. So, trade wise, I'm interested in a euro yen short because I don't think the euro is fundamentally that strong. And going into the weekend, I'd be wary of holding this. It's only up 0.19% against the euro. And it seems like more retail traders are starting to gravitate towards longs on the euro, which for me makes me want to go short. Excuse me. I'm sorry. More going short. No, I'm Friday. It's going crazy. Yeah, more going long. So I think short is the play on the euro yen. Had a brain fart there, guys. Sorry about that. So that could be an interesting move. 116.21 is a level that I'm interested in trading off the bounce. Once again, with any yen pairs, right now the market is big on risk off, risk on. That's kind of the theme right now. So there's nothing that's going to be substantially great over this, today, that's going to bid the euro over the yen if going in the weekend. So if I was an investor, I'm an investor, or I'm a large bank, is it riskier to hold the euro or the yen going into the weekend? That's kind of the way I'm looking at it here. So at the London close time, where the London banks and the large institutions are closing their books for the weekend, if they have any long euro yen pairs, they're going to close it out. And retail traders, even more so, are going to close it out. So that should create a drop. And that's kind of what I'm looking at there. So someone was looking at the pound British Lotsky. Oof, that's Nick. Let's take a look at the euro yen. Oh, the stack, so that's why. There we go. I trade with a Wanda, so I want to keep the same charts. So you can see this real bounce up here. 21 is the level, and it hit it, or just about at 19. So that is a good level to trade off of, in my opinion. I like to look at the volume profile to see what's going on here over the last day. We're looking at 30. So look at that. See, so 24 and 21. So that area is a real strong level of resistance, in my opinion, here. So we're going to mark that level, and you can see the volume is just big right there. So it already tapped it once. Let's go to the 30-minute chart. This is what I'm more interested in. So look at that. So I think we could get in on a nice maybe 15 pip stop, and we're gonna get in on this one. But first off, I want to look at the target. Let's see, make sure that it's worth our risk here for today. So if we target the low, let's look and see where the volume is at on that low area. Where was the buildup? So actually the buildup's right there at 03. So if you go here, so we're looking at, let's see, maybe a 20, 25, 45 pip stop, or 45 pip profit target with a 16 pip. So actually that's a good move. Let's see if it bounces up above the 10 level again. I want to get on a 15 pip stop. So for me, it has to be above 10 for me to take this. to make it worth our risk here. So we'll keep an eye on it. If it comes above 10, and usually what happens here is going into the London close time, which is 5:30 my time, 4:30 London time. There's a dip, and then it retests, and if it rejects this level again, then it's going down. So we'll keep an eye on this one right here. And while we're keeping an eye on that, actually, I think it's going to hit it here in a second. So it's moving. Let's figure out what the risk should be. Okay. Actually, you know what? That's so it's I got my risk. Close enough. It made it. Just dip below it, so I want to see it hop above the 10 level again here. I really want to make sure, you know what, let's just we'll set a limit order so it'll hit if it drops here. Actually, it just hit it, so there we go. All right, so what we're gonna do is we are gonna set our order. So we got filled at the 10. I think it was 10-1 right there. So we're going to set the stop at 25 because that's where that big cluster volume is. And we are going to set the low for right here, 75. So stop level 116.30, 25, and profit target 115.75. So we're looking at, let's see what the target is here, 2.36 to 1 reward to risk. So this is a nice little move here. We'll see if it hits, and we'll keep an eye on it. All right. So that covers our trade for today. Now, one thing I'm going to just stress on this one is on Friday, I do take a little bit of a less of 2-1 if it's in profit coming into the close, because I really hate holding trades over the weekend. First of all, you get whacked by the swaps, and there's a real possibility of gaps coming into the open. Not to mention Sunday, Sunday my time here in Hawaii, which is Monday Asia. The spreads are ridiculous. So that they're probably the worst in the entire week is Sunday, the first hour of trading, because none of the markets are open yet. So, the liquidity is super thin. People can manipulate the markets all around. It's just not really a good time to trade. So that, in my opinion, at least. So if it gets down into this level here, like I said, over a 1-to-1 at least, maybe like a 1.5 to 1, I'll close this sucker out because I don't want to be in on this during this time frame going into the weekend. So let me just make sure I set a hard stop here. You always want to set a stop. So, I have that soft stop in case the market, or if the market closes below, or excuse me, above the stop. But I always set a hard stop further away as kind of an emergency stop. So if something crazy comes out news-wise and it just rockets up there, it limits your exposure. You always want to have a stop. Always, 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 always. Now, it doesn't have to be where you intend to stop. It just, it's your insurance policy, so you protect your account. Awanda is good because they are a market maker dealer, so the liquidity is really, really good. It's probably one of the most traded brokers in the whole world. IG is another one, but you always want to protect yourself here. Always, always, always. I can't stress that enough. It's just good business, guys. um, all right, so we have that going on there. Um, let's see here. Let me show you yesterday's moves now that we have the trade in. So I want to show you an advanced concept here. So first off, I'll show you the euro pound. This I did not take an advanced concept. So this one, I did take a profit on this, guys. But as you can see, it would not have turned out very well if I had not. So in the 30-minute chart, we got in right here on this bar here. We got in here, and we saw a drop down to the 30 level, spiked, dropped again, resisted, and once it got up to here about 39 or 40, it was like end of it was the end of the U.S. session, or excuse me, end of the Asia session, and almost getting towards London time. So I did not want to mess with it, and I just took my profits, got out of it. It really did not seem like this sucker was going to drop down. It tested the same level here 3 times, and you could see a huge spike up. So sometimes, that's where price action and just making sure you're paying attention to what's going on is critical. And once again, it wasn't ideal on the risk reward, but I had taken over 2-to-1 on the US CAD, so I just wanted to get out for the day. I was not, intending on keeping a trade up overnight, and I advise against that. Even if you have alerts, just you want to be able to relax your mind. You don't want to be thinking about the market all day long. That's the point of this gig here, at least for me, is trading to live, not living to trade. So I don't want to be looking at the screens all day long. I have my time frame. I have my phone to check on it throughout the day if an alert hits, but I try not to even look at it. I'll try to look at the end of the day right before the turnover from US to Asia. And then I try to look at it early on, after the Tokyo Open. So maybe like 4 o'clock my time here to see what happened there, because, that Tokyo Open will move the markets as well. So after that move, that's when I kind of make my decision on what I'm going to do for the day. Closing it out usually. I've found that at the London Open, those big high reward to risks usually happen fairly quickly. I think last week Friday we had that US CAD that hit, I think it was like a 4-to-1 profit target within an hour. So that was substantial. But so US CAD, this is the trade where we used a bit of an advanced concept here. And you can see if we hadn't, it would be right at our entry level there. But we were able to take a 2-to-1 on this. So what I did was, you could see this was the support level, the most recent support level. Okay, and you can see if you look to the left here, there was a pretty set line right there. So I got in obviously at 85. I shorted. It dropped up and then dropped again. So for me, I thought this level would be broken. So actually, I got in a second position right here at 75. It held my original entry. If it would have closed above my original entry, I would have exited, because this was a smaller add to my original position of the US CAD. And then it dropped again below this level. Right? It's tested, came down to test again, so I knew this level was gone. So when it hit 65, I got in again. And then it kept going. I got in at 55. And I was able to close out, I believe it was at 38. So I got in right here towards the drop. And my target was a bit over a 2-to-1 reward to risk overall. So you could see If I would have stayed longer, it would have dropped one more time down to 20 even. But we're looking at mid London right now in this session here, and I'm not staying up for that. So that is a way for you. If the trade is winning and you're good at reading price action, you can see on the breaks if there's a test, retrace, and a retest of that position, and it looks strong, like it's going to go break through it. After it breaks through, you can add to your position there, and that's a good way to get your reward to risk high when the trade is going in your direction. So I don't do that very often, but I will do it once in a while. And adding to your position when you're in profit is a good thing. Adding to your position when you're in a loss is not a good thing, and that's not what you want to do, because that increases your risk to your reward ratio. So if you have any questions on how to add, or if you want to give that a shot, I can kind of give you a breakdown of it in the trading room. But otherwise, I'm not interested in trading this right now. US CAD. This line here, it's retesting it again, a second time, a third time. I don't think there's much downward motion here to go. It seems like the CAD's not being affected by the increase in oil prices, so I wouldn't want to hold this over the weekend. So let me go back to the euro yen, and we'll keep an eye on that one for what's going down. Seems like it's trying to make up its mind, but we're up a little bit here. I think we're up a pip. It's going short, so this level right here looks like there's some volume. So if it breaks this level, it's going to hit our profit target. All right, guys. Well, hey, we'll keep this on. Any questions, let me know. And thanks again for joining. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend.